going on, gang? Can you hear me okay, audio-wise? What's good, AXP? Jimmy, what's up, what's up? Historek, Kiyu, Oljit, what up? Aldo, what up, what up? Fantastic, fantastic. By the way, can you hear the music in the background right now? And if you do, does it sound very loud? Yes, it's very loud, or yes, you can hear it. Okay, great, great, great. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I realized that I probably am one of the few people that don't have anything playing in the background usually, and I literally just learned how to play music in the background. So I just figured, like, you know what? During those awkward silent moments where there's like no questions coming through, no trades to take, you guys could chill to my Uchiha theme music, you know? What up, guys? Lil Melty, Jason, or Jason, good to see you guys. Mass Clutch, what up? Agent 88, Rasta Patsa, what's going on? Oh, let's go. Congratulations on passing that eval, man. That's awesome, man. Well, you just keep in mind, right? Remember the intraday trailing, so tread carefully on that. So let's man, I'm excited for you. Let's get that damn account to a payout, right? Take your time though. No rush, no rush. What up, Yacht? Hey, Wandering Wealth, what's going on? Jose, hello, hello. Oscar, gang, gang. Eldred, what up, man? So, man, that's the goal, guys. I mean, like, when you guys are able to actually win accounts from us and then have the ability to pass those and then even get them to a payout, that's like the most amazing thing ever, right? So really, really counting on you guys making that happen. I know, Aldo, I get it, man. It's tough. It's the mental game of it all. Sometimes it's just untimely luck too, you know. I think that, like, you know, time in the market matters a lot too. Like, you just so happen that you have a funded and you're ready to roll, and suddenly conditions end up being super, super choppy or super, super unpredictable. It's hard to play that out, right? So I'm gonna leave the text here as I usually do. You know, I think you guys know what the assignment here is. Let's 200 thumbs up for a 50K account giveaway. Okay, let's do that first. We'll leave that here. That's one thing that we're for sure going to look to do today. I'm going to also note it here just for like a sequence for the gang as you guys are kind of rolling in. What do we want to do here today? We're going to start off with an NQ and GC chart review. Dive into what we are looking for today. Answer questions as we go. So ask away. I'll leave that there for us as well. It's more so just as a point of reference. Yeah, you got it, Aldo, man. I mean, you know, this period of time that we're trading also is not an easy time period, right? Like, it's like the digestion of the price going into the open. I mean, I honestly think that, like, the best periods to trade with your top one, like specifically the Asia session, is really around the Globex hour, like the hour after Globex, and then kind of going to the Tokyo Open and an hour or two after that. By like 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, things start to get a little choppy and indecisive. So it can be a little bit tough, man. It can be a little bit tough. I mean, if you guys saw my stream yesterday, I did talk about my trading stats, right? Like, even in the month of May, technically the stream period has been my poorest execution period, which is not surprising considering the fact that, like, it's not as fluid and it's not as great as the other hours, right? So what up, right guy? What up, Bernardi? It was all right. It was all right, man. Birthday was all right for wifey. I mean, we're kind of keeping it low key right now because there is a lot. I'll probably speak more on it in the near future, but we are in the process of, like, making some, like, big life changes and decisions. So there's a lot of background work happening. So celebration wise, we've been kind of keeping it low key, but still had lots of cake as we usually do. I'll probably have some cake later on throughout the stream because that'll be my sugar for the day. I might actually have to walk downstairs in a bit too. I have some dry noodles actually that I haven't eaten yet, so I gotta get to that in a bit. Hey, get some rest, X-Muncher. I cannot pronounce your name. Lyle FM 5524. I'm from Vancouver, man. I'm on the West Coast, Vancouver, Canada. I'm actually looking for the NQ right now to kind of, for our session, to at the very least tag the level here at 28,839. I'm looking for that. Hey, Didi, what's going on? Good to see you, man. I haven't had the chance to send you any clips or anything as of late. I keep forgetting to, honestly, and I'll get to that. Denny's was all right, man. We had to claim that free breakfast, you know, as part of the birthday thing. That's actually why we went there this morning. Thanks, right guy. Robert. I mean, I could change up some of the music too. I was gonna put on something a little bit more intense, but I'll probably do that a little bit later on. We'll change it up a little bit. I'm just kind of keeping it to the Uchiha theme for those who know the OG aspect of me. Raymond. Hey, first and foremost, congrats on getting that payout, my man. That's awesome. Do I buy more accounts? Stick to 1 or 2 accounts after the payout? Doesn't have much drawdown left. Curious to your opinion. Yeah, I mean, so generally for me, like whenever I start with any new prop firm, give me a second here. Yeah, whenever I start with any new prop firm, I'll generally actually reinvest it back into accounts, right? And the reason why I do that is kind of like you take a little bit of the profits, get you a few more accounts, just because you can start building those up again while you still kind of keep those profits that you made to the side. I mean, especially in your situation where you said your drawdown's a little low. I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Now, I don't know if you copy trade or individually trade in the way that I do, but I think sometimes having more accounts just also gives you a little bit more better psychology in terms of managing the day-to-day. So I would personally take up more accounts, but completely up to you. I think I don't know where all of us are when it comes to our financial comfortability and where we're at in our trading. So, but yeah, my 2 cents, man. Australia. Hey, what's going on, man? You're fellow Aussie. I actually have quite a few students actually that are also from Australia that I work with. I know the time zone must be kind of crazy for you guys. I was on a 101 actually just earlier, like maybe 4 hours ago. So I think right now it's 1 p.m. in Australia right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know it was like 9 a.m. for my student earlier. What up, Future Past Trader? Oh, thanks, DD. Appreciate that, man. Hey, Valima. You know, right now this channel is a pretty kind of important spot that I've been kind of watching. I want us to really tag the 28,839 level tonight. I don't know if we're gonna get there. We're just kind of consolidating here. If you were to look at this from a pattern perspective, we kind of got like a wedge pattern forming at the moment right now on the NQ. Right? So I'd probably watch to see if we end up breaking this or not. But we're holding. We're holding right now. Oh yeah. Duh. I'm treating it like Australia's on one time zone. You're right. It would be 3 p.m. technically on that side. The one that I was working with, I think, is more closer to the central to the west side of things. So yeah, let's drop some subs and likes in the chat here, gang. I will go through. I always like to let you guys roll in a little bit here before I dive straight into the chart review. So if you guys are wondering why I haven't done anything yet, that's the reason why. I find that like 10-15 minutes in, you guys are kind of rolling in, and I don't want to have to kind of go over it all over again. So we'll start that in just a bit here, okay, guys? And today, just like usual, I mean, I can't always do this every day, but I will say for today, if we manage to get to a point where we can get 300 thumbs up on the day, I will do a second giveaway on the day as well. So just FYI to you guys, okay? Getting to 200 thumbs up, I think, should be fairly easy for the gang. I think that's child's play. I know 300 can sometimes be a little bit challenging, especially if we don't have the viewership for the night. But that's kind of where I'm standing right now, though, guys. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Gold is also kind of holding an interesting spot here. I'm not going to be overly bearish, bullish just yet. I'm still bearish on gold, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So we'll leave that here for now. Continue to drop questions for now, though. I'm more than happy to answer them as we go. Hey, Duchess, good to see you again here. Hey, Raymond, you know, honestly, I think that, like, I look at that question, and that's a very valuable question, my friend. I don't think we're ever too good for mentoring. And I say that just because even for myself, right? Like, although I'm quite comfortable in myself with trading, even in business realm, right? But I would never say no to an opportunity if I found that there was value. And, you know, I'll give you an example, actually, right? You know, although I'm very well versed in the business world, and I'm trying to find ways to be more efficient with my time. So I've really spent this year learning how to integrate artificial intelligence into my day-to-day life, more so just for like efficiencies, how can I make myself more efficient as a entrepreneur. And even for myself, you know, there's no shame in saying, hey, you know what, this is one aspect of my entrepreneurial life that I need to get better with. So I'm actually looking into attending some workshops actually live locally in the Vancouver area to learn more about how to improve myself in the world of AI and stuff like that, right? So in trading, I think there's really no different, right? I think that I've worked with students who have been starting off from scratch. I've worked with students who've been trading for longer than I have, actually. People who've been trading for 10 years. So all in all, I mean, without knowing what each of your guys' challenges are, I can't obviously speak to that right off the gate, but I think there are opportunities there for sure. On a 50K funded Lucid account, would you trade micros or minis? I trade minis, but I would recommend for students to trade micros because you don't have a lot of shots to take if you're using minis. Like, you're basically going to blow your account after like 3 or 4 trades if you're trading minis. Child's Play Drake. Is that part of the new album there is? I haven't actually heard the new album yet, but I know a lot of people talking about it. Hey, Dara, welcome. I will do that in just a bit. If you can hang tight for a couple more minutes, I will dive right into that just for the intro for the gang, just because I know you guys are all rolling in right now. So, Dara, I will get back to your question. Just give me a couple minutes here, okay? Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, man, I don't want to butcher your name, man. Mosini, 100%. I mean, I'm looking for more of a bearish move before we get the bullish move. What would be considered a no trade day? So if we were in like the middle of nowhere, Duchess, I would not touch it. Like, for me, I always try to look for periods on a chart. And if we're near certain areas or bar by bar, it's giving me a sense of, like, you know, whether it's clear identification of range or trend, then I'll take it. Otherwise, yeah, I would leave it alone, man. I wouldn't touch it at all. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, Toxic. Was watched, non 25 spawn, NQ did get tagged onto the next level. Yeah, I'm bearish, man. I'm bearish still right now, for sure. Am I good at cooking? I'm gonna say no, and I only say no because, like, for me, and I don't mean this as a disrespect for anyone who maybe who considers this more than that, but cooking wise, like, what I can do basic stuff, and how I categorize it is this, you know, is this: that if I find that I myself, right, if I myself am cooking with something that requires more than 3 to 4 sequences in the cooking, I don't really consider cooking as so much. So what I mean by that is, like, I can, you know, chicken breast, pork chops, steaks, salmon. Can I marinate, bake, cook, fry, sear, whatever? I could do all that. But as soon as you start talking to me about things like, I'm going to start cutting up all these different types of garnishes, and I'm going to create a type of sauce that I'm going to dip and I'm going to pour over, and I don't do all the fancy stuff. I'm like very basic in that regard. Like, I have a few nice little things that I like to do with when I bake salmon or you know, if I'm searing a steak or whatever it may be. I have little things like that. But no, I honestly, because of my life, the way that it was, I was always working. Like you guys know my story by now. I've been a workaholic since I was 14 years old, so I've never really had the time to cook because by the time I get home, I'm just bagged, right? So I've always lived on takeout, even if it's like cheap takeout, you know. Because growing up, obviously for me, it's like if I can get like a cheeseburger or a slice of pizza somewhere, then that would be my meal. But yeah, no, I wish I can say that I'm a great cook, but I don't think so. I think the things I do cook taste good, but I'm not a great cook otherwise. Um, what's my position on the Tradeify Cup? What do you mean by that, Toxic? Are you asking me if I like what ranking I'm in, or are you asking like what's my thought on the Tradeify Cup? Yeah, Riz, I think that's a very popular point is to look for the highs and lows. Different strategies, different systems will call that something completely different, different labels, but they're all the same thing at the end of the day. I agree. Worst dish, man. I don't know if I have a lot of worst dish. I like food as long as it's not moving, man. I can pretty good with that. Ethiopian food, I haven't had the greatest experience with. I don't want to judge the entire culture's food off of like a couple of bites, but I've had Ethiopian food a couple times. It wasn't the best for me, so I probably would put that on the lower end for me. Um, but yeah, that could be because I haven't had good Ethiopian food either, right? So yeah, I'll talk about my trades earlier on too. I caught some trades earlier on the NQ. I also kind of provided some narrative with my student during the one-on-one as well. Um, thanks, right guy. Hey, what up, Mobex? I don't hate the orb strategy. I don't know if there's a lot of strategies I hate, to be honest, guys. I think there's a lot of strategies that I would like. You know, I don't think that's really the issue per se in any way. Um, I think it just comes down to whether or not I trade it personally myself, which in this case I don't. I don't really do much. So um, I'm just zooming in here just because I'm chatting with you guys right now. So I figured it's probably a little bit better to chat this way versus you guys staring into a little small tiny box. Is this your favorite time to trade? No, absolutely not, JA. You may have missed it when I said it earlier on, but this is actually my, statistically speaking, this is probably the poorest period for me to execute trades on. So now, mind you, some of it has been based on like some trial and playing around with like, can I get more R? I will say stats wise for this period, it's better that I shoot for 1R. That has statistically been where my highest probability is going to be. So yeah, that my 2 cents on that. Yeah, I shorted NQ earlier. I'll talk about that during my chart review in a bit here. What up, Ron? Italian food? Oh yeah, Italian food's so good, so good. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of authentic Italian restaurants out here, I will say, but when you get a good one though, they're pretty banging, man. BJ, what's going on, man? Jara, students are a separate thing. They're a separate thing. Maybe they could be future integrated in, but it's just something that I do off the side. There's a lot of people that don't know. Like, other than me talking about it on stream, most people actually don't realize that I take on students because I don't advertise it. It's not something I post on Instagram or YouTube or anywhere, actually. Just because like it's not something that I'm trying to sell per se. Like, if there's students that want to work with me, I'm more than happy to. Then we'll kind of kick something off that way. But yeah, I'm not looking to mass produce my time because my time is like thin as it is. So if there's people that want to work with me and we connect, then fantastic. But yeah, I mean, life is pretty busy as it is for me. So yeah, I think when ranges are moving like this, absolutely. New Darkness, Anton's. Anton's is definitely value pasta, but I will say, unless I'm eating that pasta with like hot sauce or something like that, I actually wouldn't put Anton's at the top there. Just, I don't know if that's gonna strike a nerve for you, but there are other Italian restaurants I personally prefer over Anton's. Honestly, Jay, if I was retired and I wasn't doing anything, I just was rolling in cash and I was donating my time to charity, totally. And to be perfectly honest, that's actually one of the things that I will do. And, you know, Jay, it's funny you make that comment because I don't think that's a bad thing to ask. Obviously, for me, I have to charge for my time because, you know, as an entrepreneur, if I charge my clients for my time, it wouldn't make sense for me not to charge anyone else for my time either, especially with how busy I am and how much I make on the market without that anyways. But you know, something that's actually I'll share with you guys, one of my actually kind of like, I don't want to call it life's mission. When I get to that stage in life where I'm like, you know what, I can hang it all up and don't have to worry about ever working a day in my life ever again, my goal is actually to be able to contribute, right? And to contribute to youth development. But that also means that if I were to do things for like charity, if I were to ever mentor for entrepreneurship or day trading in my late 50s or 60s or whatever like that, I would probably still charge, but that money would go directly to charity though. Like that's kind of like where my mindset is that later on at some point in time, I'll be pivoting my resources more to charity than anything else. But that is absolutely something that I mean, I think I talked about this on one of my streams before. It is something that I already do today in a lot of cases, but I'm not so financially set for me to be able to like, yeah, I'm not going to work a minute in my life because my kids are very young and I'm still fairly young myself as well. So a lot of a lot of road left for myself. I don't make a living off of trading, Ron Costa. Could I? Absolutely, I could, but I don't. I'm an entrepreneur actually by heart. So at my core, that is where a lot of my bread and butter and consistency comes from of life. But no, in terms of trading wise, I could, but I don't think I will ever. This is probably a very controversial opinion, but I don't think I will ever just trade as a living. I don't think that's mentally healthy. One man's opinion. As a person who's been trading and have had success, I find it's actually very stressful, to be honest. And I don't know if I could do it for the longer term of my life and career. So, Duchess, yeah, I only stream the pre-market London period. I don't do any other times just because I'm restaurants, business, family, my own trading, my coaching with my students. I don't have time to stream other than this period. This is the time where everyone in my house is like asleep. So it's the only time. Yeah, I'll be streaming for the next 2 hours here. I'm just gonna call you Laya or Leah because I don't know how to pronounce your whole username there. But yeah, I know, pick up your kid, man. I'll be here for the next 2 hours. 12-year-old watch me sometimes when I trade, and she is asking if anyone can trade, if girls can do it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. My 6-year-old actually knows what a failure to go lower is, and my 6-year-old knows what a level is. He knows what a range is, and it's because he watches me a lot. And whenever he comes by my desk and he sees the candles, he'll just immediately ask me, "Are you making money, Daddy?" Which is kind of cute. You know, obviously I had no exposure to what trading was when I was growing up, so just to even think about a 6-year-old asking me questions about that's pretty cool. Thanks, Livia. Jerson, what's going on? I do not have a business degree, actually. I have no post-secondary education at all. Much of what I know today was simply me putting in the grind and also having met the right people in my life that kind of helped me along the way. That's actually why I do what I do and why I'm such an advocate on coaching. Like, I just had a student, he's actually in the chat right now. I don't know if he's gonna highlight himself, but Jake, he just achieved the $1,600 payout. And for me, that's amazing. Like, that's so fulfilling to me. Like, I can make $1,600, $2,000 every single day, and it doesn't feel the same as having a student get their payouts. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just been about something about who I am since the very beginning. And that's where a lot of my corporate career success came from. My entrepreneurial success came from. It has always been about helping those around me. And it's just a good, I feel good. They feel good. It's just a win-win, man. Like, that's kind of where all that comes from. So thanks, Theo. Appreciate that, man. Hey, man, that short trade is coming down. Hey, there you go. That's a nice tag there. There it is. There it is. There's that short. Come on down. Come on down, NQ. I don't know if any of you guys caught that. Okay, you know what? As you guys are rolling in here, it's 10:24 my time. I'm going to pause. I will answer the questions. I will get to it. So first and foremost, welcome to Project 365. My name's Alan, going by the name of Azheng Trades. Some of you guys might remember me from my old alias as Uchiha Trades. And so I myself will be going through the charts with you guys today. Because I have the slower session, I actually will more often than not have more of an opportunity to actually go over the charts with you guys and answer questions. So I'm going to answer a lot of the questions for you guys throughout the stream today. So as you guys ask them, if I do accidentally miss one, feel free to just tag it again. At some point I'll get to it again because I will work my way down. But I just want to kind of, start off with that first and foremost. I'll get some music kind of playing in the background as well for you guys as usual here. So anyways, yeah, let's dive into this, right? So Project 365, what is this for all you guys who are tuning in today? We are a group of 5 hosts that stream 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes even a little bit more than that. our goal and mission here is simple, right? We're sharing a passion of what we love with the group and with the community, right? Hopefully, especially during sessions like myself, I know Ron also has the opportunity sometimes on some of his periods, is that we have slower sessions, we have an opportunity to chat with you guys, and we're more than happy to kind of connect and answer questions, whether you're experienced or inexperienced. We're hoping that you'll be able to find value in tuning into this, okay? Now, with that said, I am going to hop straight into this, okay? So I'm going to hop into I'm going to talk about gold first. I'm going to finish off with NQ. That was a nice pull down on gold here as well. I really like that lower high. So as usual, by the way, guys, if you guys are just hopping in here, if you guys can drop a thumbs up, again, if we can get to 200 thumbs up, I will do a 50K account giveaway immediately. If we get to 300 thumbs up as well, I'll do another one right after that, okay? So just want to kind of just throw that out there right now. Okay, let's see. So we're going to start from the larger time frames, as I always do. So on the weekly time frame, I apologize for all this stuff right now. I'll move this out of the way. On the weekly time frame, we can see here we are continuing this breakdown. If you've been following the stream, I've been talking about this daily range we've been in, and we're finally starting to break out of it, which is the reason why I am bearish on gold. It doesn't mean you can't take longs. You absolutely can always take longs because there's always pullbacks and what have you, but I'm bearish overall on this. So just wanted to FY and let you guys know that I am still bearish on this chart, and we're getting that breakdown. Now, as we go through the daily as well, this is what I'm talking about. When you guys were following my stream, I was talking about this daily range that we were kind of boxed in, and I'll just kind of visually just box that out right there. That daily range was that gross range we were in. But even through that range, though, I was constantly shorting gold. You guys saw that as well. I posted that about on Discord, on Instagram. So we was able to capture some good opportunity there, but I'm definitely bearish. I know we just put in a daily failure to go lower. I'm still going to look for us to kind of maybe retrace some of that, and if we break beneath that, I'm definitely looking for much bigger follow through to the downside, looking to maybe tag down to the 4,400 spot on gold. I gotta peel back some of the stuff that I just pulled away now because I don't want that to be completely gone. Give me a second here. Yeah, if you guys are wondering the music that's playing in the background, I'm a big Naruto nerd, hence the name that I used to have. So this is just like a Naruto soundtrack, if you guys are curious. Hopefully it's not too loud. I did lower it to make sure that it's just enough to have it in the background. Okay, so and then from the hourly time frame as well on gold, you can kind of see here, you can almost kind of consider this like a bear flag that we're forming here. And I like the fact you can see here this AOI that I had 45.77. It's been on here in the chart for quite some time. We're seeing that we're respecting and we're holding beneath this. So I would like us to have continuous follow through to the downside, just looking at this chart right here. And then obviously coming down to the smaller time frames. And now I gotta move this back here so I don't lose everything here. Come back down. Don't want to lose that. You can see here right now we're getting some sharp reversal action on gold. This is offer an opportunity for us, sure, but I'm still going to stay short. I think that if price on gold at any point comes back up to the 200 EMA here or even the VWAP, I'd be interested in shorts again. But again, I wouldn't blindly just short it just because of that. I would be looking for some more clarity on bar by bar analysis. As you guys know, I'm quite a stickler when it comes to that, right? So that would be kind of like my 2 cents on gold right now. As you guys know, like I said, bearish is what I want on gold right now, okay? Hopping onto the NQ. So we had a nice bounce off that 28,892 right now. And so anyone who shorted it and tagged that level, amazing. Very kudos, solid trade. I'm going to talk about the NQ. I'm going to zoom out again here and break it down. On the weekly time frame right now, we are putting in a bearish bar. And so I don't know if we're going to be able to break beneath the 28,749, which is last week's low. I'm not sure if we're going to get there. If we do, I would see if we could maybe tag about this channel here at 28,558. This is a big if. I won't talk about that too much because I feel like the price is too far away for us to even be speaking to that at this moment in time. On the daily time frame right now, it looks like we're continuing this pull down as well. If we can hold these level area that kind of reference, we could very likely consider this like a higher low for us to push further up. Otherwise, if we do get further pullback, I don't think it's too crazy. I mean, in the end of the day, if you take a look at the chart, I mean, we've been on an absolute bull run. I think a pullback lower isn't out of the question here. So intraday session wise, I'm looking at it from a weakness standpoint for sure. hourly time frame as well. We got about half an hour left of this hour. If we do manage to get a bullish hourly candle that takes out the prior bars, I'm open to longs into the Globex period there. But that's a big if, right? We got about half an hour left of the hourly candle closes. So we'll see where we get there. Otherwise, right now, we're still holding within this wedge quite nicely. We'll see if we get a breakout or not. I mean, again, I'm not a breakout trader, but I'm just providing that narrative just for the gang in general so that you guys can get a sense of what I'm kind of referring to. I see that guys are just kind of rolling in here as well. So, you know, welcome again to Project 365. Let's get those thumbs up, guys. I really want to do this giveaway for you guys. I want to get that out there for you guys, right? So just going to catch up with the chat a little bit here since I've kind of went through that. Oh, sorry. You know what? I'll go through one more thing before I go through the question. Just in terms of the trade that I took for the NQ. So I don't know if you're starting to see this pattern now coming into the Asia session, but I'm finding it quite common. Once we start like showing like double, triple tops over the Asia, I find that we start weakening. The most beautiful short on the day, which I did not get this one because I wasn't at my chart, but the most beautiful short of the trade was the one here at about 5:50 Pacific Standard Time. I really like the way that we you know, double top, triple top, depending on what time frame you're looking at. I love the way that we held the highs of the day, and then when we closed back beneath the VWAP, and we also held the Globex opening print there that I had as a spot there. That was a beautiful short. If you caught that, I mean, you've obviously been sitting pretty here because that was from 29,135, and here we are 28,877. I mean, that's about a 300-point trade to the downside. The one that I did get though was over here. I caught the lower high here beneath Globex. I had multiple reasons why this made sense. I had multiple conviction points, reference points, bar by bar, market structure, all the things that I talk about because people ask me what my strategy is, right? My foundation is the mastermind of Jake Ricci and the rate trade system. I've obviously evolved a lot of what I do today, so my approach to things will be different. As you will see from all the hosts that are on Project 365, we all take a look at things differently. We trade differently, different expectations, all of that, right? But evidently, if I were to high level it, I mean, this would be a perfect example, right? I mean, we had a nice lower high structure. We were below the Globex opening print. I had indicators that were providing extra additional conviction. I had my bar by bar confirmation on multiple time frames, playing on the intraday weakness. Like, there are just so many things at play. These are all the things I look at when I'm trading the markets. And so anyways, it all played out nicely for me. So I caught that short trade down here, which was beautiful. And then this next trade over here, I was actually on a one-on-one call with the Australian student that I was referring to earlier. And this was the part where I said, you know, if we can set up here the way that we're forming here, if we get the bar confirmation, I can see us going from channel to channel, which we essentially did. We had that channel to channel move here. This was about a 120-point move to the downside. So again, if you were able to catch that short, that was a beautiful short. And a lot of these channels have been on this already for the past little while now. Like, they've been on these streams, so not too surprising. I always reference this with the gang, actually, that if you're in this stream, even if you don't trade, that's not a big deal. Pay attention to these areas that I'm talking about because they do end up getting respected well into the New York session. You can even see here, actually, I kind of skipped over this earlier, but the New York session earlier, right? Once that same 29,135 that I referred to, here, let me pull back here to the Asia session. This same 29,135 area that I mentioned was the beautiful lower high short. If you take a look at the New York session here, that was our support bounce in the New York session. So you could have caught the longs off of the support area, but in the same regard that once we lost it, it ended up becoming the lower high for us. And it actually became the box range for us to trade between that area and down to the bottom of this channel. And that was the New York session. So you can see how these channels are being respected and the levels are being respected over the New York session. And coming into the Asia, same thing again. And so that's the reason why I always talk about the fact that, like, you know, even if you don't trade this session, keep note of it, right? I think there's a lot of value to be had here. So silly not to pay attention. So just want to note that there. What do we got here? We're at about 120 thumbs up right now. We're 80 thumbs up away from doing a 50K giveaway with the gang. So let's get there, guys. Let's get there. I'm just going to catch up with the chat now because I missed a little bit. I do not, Dara, I don't know what those bands that you're referring to. I've never used them before, so I can't speak to that, unfortunately. Sorry. Big boy. I mean, you know what? I think that's a very valid question, man. I mean, right there, his question was, even after all this time, you still find trading stressful? I mean, absolutely. I mean, in the end of the day, you're risking. You're putting risk on, right? And with all the things that I'm looking at, I'm hyper focused. There's no doubt in my mind that if you hooked me up to a machine, my heart's probably racing, right? Although I'm very calm in my demeanor, I can't hide the fact that I'm like hyper focused, right? Like if you think about the fact that I'm focused on so many things on the chart all at the same time, risking, having targets, all that, and a lot of times as well, I'm also providing narrative in the discords or working with a student, right? So there's just a lot of things that go on. I don't think it ever gets. I don't think you can ever get rid of it completely. Is I guess what I should say. Does it get better? Yeah. I mean, I don't tilt the way that I used to tilt. I do have bad days, but I don't tilt the way I used to tilt anymore. I don't degen the way I used to degen either, right? So it gets better as you go through experiences, but I don't think, I mean, to each their own, right? I don't think there's any trader out there that will ever tell you that it's easy, because I think there's always emotion involved in this craft, especially as you kind of get bigger and bigger. You put on bigger risk, more risk, things change, right? Like I can't imagine people like Umar and Andrew, Stockmark Wolf, those guys who are risking like $20, $30, $50,000 in their trades. I don't even want to imagine what that feels like. I'm like, here I am risking $1,000 or $2,000, and I'm already like, hyper focused, right? So anyways, my long-winded way of saying, yeah, it doesn't go away. It gets easier, it gets more manageable, but it never really goes away, big boy. Nice. I'm glad you caught that short trade there, Learning. Yeah, and you know what? To your point, Jay, about my 6-year-old, people have asked me before, do I want my 6-year-old to trade? I'm not going to force anything to them. I don't want to be the typical Asian parent who pushes their kids to do what they want them to do. If he wants to trade, great. If he doesn't, whatever makes him happy, man. Part of the big reason why that I'm doing what I'm doing today is to kind of create a canvas so that he doesn't have to feel the need to do a certain thing, and that he can find whatever passion he wants to and pursue that, right? So when are we hitting the long? Not yet, man. Not yet. I mentioned earlier, you might have just hopped on there, Theo. 28,839. I'd love to tag that level here before I even think about going long. Which on you? Start turning in this live. You just generally sound like a nice guy, and you have something else to do. Thanks, Hagar. I appreciate it, man. Jerry said, "Yeah, I got music now. It's my Naruto music." Czar's got like a tracker on you, Ranji. Do I have a fixed entry model? I'm gonna say yes, but it's not probably as fixed as you think it is. Like I have a lot of checkboxes that I have to go through my playbook. So it's kind of like assuming I have 10 boxes, if I maybe get 7 out of 10, I'll take it. But is it 10 out of 10? Like I'm not that fixated in that regard. So there are things that I look for sure, but I'm not like an absolute stickler in that regard. I prefer NQ Icy Hawk. I don't touch ES at all, actually. Doctor Strange. When to entertain gold longs here. I think it's valid for you to take this. I mean, we're at the New York low right now. So if you wanted to attempt it, this could be it. What are we looking at here? What's the risk? I mean, based on where the entry is now, the risk is quite high, to be honest. But you could probably get a solid 1-hour trade. I mean, it's possible here. I'll leave that there. I think a 1-hour trade here is nice. Duchess, I'm looking for, like, because if we're talking about NQ, I'm looking for at least kind of like a double bottom or a potential higher low, just because, you're trying to reverse, right? I don't know if, I think you may have heard me say this in other streams. Generally speaking, reversals have the lowest probability rate, so I don't want to just blindly hop into that. Gandhi, my man, what's going on, man? Killer short on your end, then. I mean, Valima, to your point about, like, it feels good when you're winning. I'll tell you right now, you're always gonna feel like there's more on the table, right? Like it's like I think Jake's talked about this before too. You can literally catch a solid trade, and you might be the happiest guy in the world, and then just to find out that it literally 3x to 4x what you could have gotten, right? So it's tough either way. But yeah, winning still at least feels better than losing. But I would say take every trade, regardless of a win or a loss, as a lesson. There's a saying that I used to say back in the corporate days, which is like you learn today so that you can win tomorrow. So there's never losing, right? It's only a loss if you've learned no lesson from it. But if there was a lesson to be taught and a lesson to be taken, then I think that it's a learning experience that can propel you into the next day and make you a better person tomorrow, right? As they say, 1% better every day. The Nike checkmark moment for me was when I could articulate how I trade. It sounds crazy, but I think a lot of people don't really actually know their system as well as they think they do. I'm so confident with my trading and my system that I can literally take my 6-year-old kid and be like, let me show you what bar by bar is. Let me talk to you about what this structure means, what this setup means, what I'm looking for. Like so I've always said that, right? I think that's also kind of one of the streams that I talked about before, about like where if I'm very passionate and if I'm speaking in front of people, I generally don't have issues public speaking because I'm so confident in what I'm talking about. I have no reason to be worried, right? So just kind of my 2 cents on the Nike checkmark comment there. Yeah, Bulgy, let the mentals reset. I'm glad the music vibes help though. I started trading Rasta Pasta. I started trading NQ before I traded ES, just on futures. When I started trading futures back in August of 2024, there was just a lot of volatility, and I just heard people were trading NQ as well. So I kind of started with that first, and once I learned that, I just never bothered to dabble in another one. So I've always been the type of person that likes to only pivot between 1 or 2 tickers at a time. Futures, I pivot between NQ and gold, and I've been trading NQ and gold for the past year and a half now. And when it comes to options, back then I used to trade SPY, SPX, which is basically the same thing, just one is much more degenerate than the other, and then Tesla, which is what I was known for. I was the Tesla options trader. So what's good, Adam? K9, I have no idea what that means, but if that's a good sign for you for a position, power to you, man. Is there anything you can derive from the hourly chart on NQ? Very big bullish candle and a very slow grind down. I think that if we can close off an hourly bullish candle I mentioned earlier during the review, that takes out the prior bars, I mean, we might have a nice move up to tag the Globex opening. Definitely something that's very probable on the table. Dara, I don't have anything that explains that. What I teach to the students that I have, because I actually teach students in 2 ways. I either just go on one-on-ones with them and help them coach with their existing strategy, their system, and I'll just share my opinions along the way and kind of help them refine their playbooks, their strategies, and all that stuff. That's one side of how I teach. The other side is if they want to go through the full program with me, then I teach them everything about my system, and then I layer on to see how I can either integrate my system into theirs, or kind of like maybe they just feel like they want to adopt the system completely. But nevertheless, though, even me just teaching the system, it's like 8 to 10 hours. So it's like it's not something that I could just plug up on YouTube actually. So, and I'm always evolving too. I think that's like actually one of the reasons why I chose to go the coaching mentorship route versus the class route, was because as I evolve as a trader, I continue to provide the insights of my evolution as a trader to all of the students. All the way from the first student I ever took to the most recent students I take, they all have access to me from the past, the present, and the future, right? So hence why I always talk about it as more of a relationship more than anything. Good luck on the copper long, man. I mean, is gold moving right now as well? Yeah, we're not moving just yet. What do I do to de-stress from trading? This is why I talk a lot about this actually in terms of identity. I don't treat trading as my only identity. I'm an entrepreneur, business person, friend, husband, father, so many different things. So what I like to do is I like to dabble in my other passions, right? Like if trading's not going well for me today, I go dabble in the other thing. This isn't everything for me. And that's the reason why I think that when this is your everything, it becomes very, very difficult. And you might have to find other ways to cope with stress and what have you. I haven't traded Tesla recently at all. I know I don't trade silver. Okay, Zheng took an NQ short at 21,900. which would have been up here. I don't know what time you took that short, my friend. But, I mean, yeah, the shorts have been playing out well. I kind of did the chart review earlier on. Connor, if you just kind of hopped in here on the stream, you might be able to peel back a little bit. But I went through a trade review of, like, where I was looking and kind of what short I took as well. Gotcha, K9, gotcha. Thanks for the explanation, man. Yeah, so Lucid, if you get 5 payouts out of one account, you will be moved to live. I have not, no. Theo, I'm not... I want to say this too, right? I'm not saying that I know everything, and I'm not saying that I'm the best either. Personally, I'm just at that point in my trading career where I personally don't want to layer in anything else into my trading. There's enough going on in my head as it is. I don't want to add more problems to that, so I don't really layer into the other. But I do recognize, like, you know, how Mitch talks about gamma. I've kind of watched some of his streams as well, speaking to that. I've also seen Christian trade the power hour as well, right? With the ICT strategies that he has as well. Again, I mean, look, I find that you see it already. All of us we find success in what we do. So I think that as long as it works, man, just kind of stick to that. I try not to throw in too many things at the same time. Hey man, Dink, if you're trading gold and it's been working, man, just keep at it. Just keep at it. If you have a reason that you want to integrate NQ, do that as well. But I don't think you should integrate it just because other people are trading it, right? I always like to have 2 tickers just so that I can rotate between the 2 if I need to. Because sometimes one ticker might be disgusting where the other one moves better. Like when NQ was ranging for all those months, right? Gold was the name to trade, right? So SPY and SPX is the same. But the difference is that, for example, if you want to buy SPY contracts, right, that are like 0 date expiration, you can scoop them up for like a couple bucks, right? When I say couple, you'll understand if you know what I mean by a couple bucks. It's not actually a couple bucks, but like a couple dollars per contract. But if you're trading SPX, those contracts will usually cost you $16 to $20. So it's like quite high. But it also, the volatility on them is quite insane. Like I remember I had shorted SPX once, and like there was like a big news that took place, and it dropped really big. And for me, I made 1,000% return on that SPX short, and I closed it immediately. But the thing is, it actually kept going. And so like I can't remember what it was, but basically SPX would have been like a 3,000, 4,000% gain had I held it. And that's just the way SPX operates, hence why I call it the more degen ticker compared to regular SPY. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it, man. Family's getting better. I'll check that out later. Samadera remix. I'll take a look at it later, man. How's it going, Odd? 8:50 my time, eh? 8:50 my time. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, if you take a look at the chart here, my friend, that was literally the wedge rejection here as well, right? And you can almost look at this as like a mini bear flag within a bear flag type of deal. But yeah, I think that was fairly valid. It can be a little bit higher risk sometimes when you're like getting these breaks of structure, but I can see from a bar by bar perspective why that short made sense. Yeah, man, Tesla's my bae. I didn't trade NVDA as much, though. Do I have my Discord? Like my username? Yeah, you can always... I'll just leave my Instagram here. You can just DM me on Instagram. We can definitely converse over Discord if you want to. But if you're looking for a server itself, the Rake Trades Discord is pretty much the Discord to be on. It offers you all the mastermind content and all that stuff as well. So it's a pretty good bang for your buck value. That's kind of what I would recommend. Second gang. Yeah, the Discord's here as well. Good morning, Johanna. Roy, no, I'm not in a trade right now. No, I've just been chatting with the gang. I took my trade earlier, though. I shorted NQ. Yes, there will be stock futures, Aldo. I will 100%. When Tesla becomes a futures ticker, I will 100% be trading that again. That will come right back into my life. Bar by bar is very heavy, and I would say it's not something I can easily do, and it's not because I'm trying to be guarded here. I'm going to explain to you why. Give me 1 second here. If you've never been exposed, Dara, to bar by bar, trends, reversals, range, thickness of the books, this. So is it something that I could explain? Not really that easily. I think that there are a lot of basic nuances that you can explain in bar by bar, but essentially for me, I look at it as candles are telling you a story. The battle between buyers and sellers are taking place in each of those candles. Every single time frame represents something different. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I spent a lot of time reading into bar by bar, to be honest, right? Like that's how I got to where I am. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely not an easy thing to go through if you're learning, but it's a game changer though, man. Indicators, Adam, I have the 9 EMA, 20, 50, 200, and VWAP. I don't use them all, but I have them as reference points for me there. And then I also have the FF indicator, which is it's more of a proprietary one that's that I subscribe to. That's another one as well that I use. You're welcome, Connor. Directional trend lines. I mean, trend lines are totally a matter of preference, really, right? I mean, like you generally speaking, the rule of thumb, and you can do this on every time frame. When you're drawing trend lines, you're essentially looking to draw them from wick to wick. Some people do it bodies to bodies. That's completely up to them. But you can see here for me where I had a 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. So usually if there's like 3 touches to a trend line, then the trend line is like a little bit more valid. That's generally the case, at least from what I've looked at when I'm looking at trend lines. And then as you do that, different time frames will look slightly different. I'm not looking for longs just yet. Flaccid Unicorn. I still want us to tag lows, man. Like I would keep shorting this until we get to 28,839. That's personally what I would be looking for. I mean, it does look like we're trying to break above the range here, which is why I kind of drew this wedge here as a visual reference. And then also I would note that we keep coming back into this channel, which is what makes me very uneasy about taking any trades right now. But that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. Although I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, the prop firms are working on it. John Moore, if it's glitching, it's probably just the dashboard. So I mean, as long as your P&L and all that stuff is still intact, you should be good, man. Don't stress about it. I have been hearing a lot more about volume profile strategies. I have not looked into it myself, Duchess, but I've been hearing that a lot lately. No boba today. No, not today, my man. I actually I've got my wife's ice cream cake that I'm gonna grab a slice of in a bit here. I also have some noodles as well, so. Yeah, they're the Soul Shift. They're actually the bar by bar books. You know what I'll do? I'll repost them on my Instagram, and you guys can just kind of follow it there. It's a lot for me to kind of type out all the names, but it is the newer version of the Al Brooks books. I like the newer version better than the original that Jake had read, because the one that Jake had read originally, that is a very, very dry book, and I had a hard time getting through it. I like the way that they're separated here. So I'll post it on Instagram right now. The books I spoke about on stream. There you go. I just posted it on Instagram. So it's in my story. You'll see it there. But those are the books. You can get them on Amazon. Yeah, Bar by Bar is really a tough read, man. Hey, Stangham. What's going on? What's going on? Are we at 200 thumbs up yet, guys? Can I do the giveaway yet? How are we not there yet, guys? What is going on? You guys don't want a free account, eh? Dara, so usually I will say that I average 1 to 2 R predominantly, but then occasionally I'll rock 3 to 5, even 10 R. So what you'll notice a lot of my stats, if you ever like had the chance to like fine tooth comb them, majority of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, I'm taking 1 to 2 R trades, and then occasionally, like 10 to 20% of the time, I will take 3+ R trades. But when I do take those, they are also generally bigger trades. Like they're like also sized higher. And it's because generally if a chart is setting up in such a way that it just looks so good, I will size up on those trades and I'm willing to hold them as well. And it also gives me the opportunity to trim along the way. So usually, to give you perspective from a dollar perspective, because I trade minis, I don't trade micros, guys. I do recommend micros for most people though. When I do trade the 3+ R trades, usually the dollar figure difference in those is like I'm usually on average making about 3 grand on those trades, and it could go as high as like 10 to 11 grand. So when I am going bigger, they are bigger trades, but most of the time I'm really happy walking away with like 600 to 1200 bucks a trade a day. I'm very comfortable with that, piece by piece. Rasta pasta. Seriously, right? Thoughts on using 15 or 30-second time frames to execute trades? Actually, the developer of the FF indicator, I talked to him a lot, and him and I were just chatting about it not so long ago too. We joke about it a lot, actually. I don't use it, but he has actually found, especially using the FF indicator, there's been some times where the 30-second chart has played very nicely for him. For me, it's just too aggressive of a time frame. It's the reason why I can't use it. It doesn't work for me for the way that I go about it. Also, I'm not sure if you guys know. I know that you guys know about code RT and Rake for the exclusive deal. The exclusive deal with Funded Futures Family. So not sure if you guys are aware of that right now, but that is something that just started, very recent. You get 50% off plans right now. And some of them can even be more aggressive than that, depending on what kind of plans you're getting. So 50% on most plans already, and some even crazier than that. So like, look at this right now. I know these are very tough plans to trade because they have intraday trailing drawdown and you don't have a lot of drawdown to play with. But I mean, 20 bucks for an account is pretty insane. I think that if you're a trader that's learning the craft, I think these are a great entry point price to get into. So just wanted to note that for the gang, in case you guys aren't aware of that already. The FF indicator is this basically. So I'll kind of just show you in a bit. It's just another type of, just like any other indicator, it's a trend tracker. So if it does a really nice job capturing trends on the overall market. So depending on how you use it, I mean, that's obviously completely up to you as a trader. But I know that the person who developed this used to use it on whatchamacallit. They would use it to trade gold often because gold would trend fairly well. So this would be an example of where, like, if like gold can hold above this 2-minute trigger line here, then it gives us an opportunity for us to push higher. Now, if we could break above the 5-minute trigger line, that's even better. But there's a good chance that we'd look at the 5-minute trigger line as a trend retracement back down. And so these are just some things that you would look at when you're using the FF indicator. Icy Hawk, I can't participate in the Tradeify Cup. I don't know of any other tournament that's taking place at the moment, but I can't do the Tradeify Cup, unfortunately. Big boy, did you start with them in the early days as well? Because that's when I started. I started when their payouts were actually a lot more lenient. Their payouts are tighter now than they used to be, which obviously for good reason, for business purposes. But that's actually, Funded Futures Family was one of the first prop firms that I had actually capped out with. Yeah, it was quite some time ago, man. Do I hate on Heikanashi candles? I've never used them before, so I don't know how to use them. I see. Yeah, you know what? I heard someone talking about that. No, I'm not partaking in any of that. I honestly don't have enough time to like really look at any other thing else as a distraction. I kind of just trade at my leisure and my convenience. But anyone who's trading a competition right now, my word of advice for you guys is like definitely take advantage of being patient. because you'll be surprised if you're just patient on the market, you'll probably be able to make it quite high on that chart, higher than you'd think. Hey, what's going on, Pete? What kind of accounts do I usually trade? Can you clarify a little bit more about what you mean by that question? By the way, I'm going to check if my noodles are here. Hold on 1 second. I don't know if they're up here or if they're downstairs. Be right back. What kind of accounts do you usually trade? So like futures, are you asking in terms of like what prop firms? Just because like usually I'm on 150K accounts, and otherwise I'll dabble in 50Ks once in a while. Just if it's maybe usually if I'm trying out for a prop firm for the first time, I'll use the 50K accounts. But as far as prop firm goes, I can only trade with Take Profit Trader right now. Lucid, I'm still pending live right now. I actually signed another document with them today, so maybe I'm getting that much closer to moving live with them now. And then I still have Top Step, but I'm capped out with most of the prop firms already. I've kind of started with Funded Next a little bit. I haven't really touched the evals all too much as of lately. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. I'm not sure if that's what you meant. And by the way, this kind of pull down here is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Like, I'm not looking for longs right now. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense, gang. The stream does end at London Open, but occasionally I'll usually stay on for a little bit longer if I have the time to. Roy, when I say cap out, it means basically if in the fine print of every prop firm, you'll see that there's a maximum amount that they're going to pay you out before they say see you later. You can't really trade with us anymore. And what I mean by that is that if you can't move live with them due to your geography and you have hit their maximum payout frequency or payout dollars, then they usually will cap you at that point. And so that's what I mean by that. So with like Funded Futures Family, like the one that I was just talking about, Buy Funded Futures, Tradeify, Apex, like all those guys, I'm capped out with all of them. So I can't trade with them anymore because I've hit their max payout. Perdia Capital, I've not. You're absolutely right, Dara. I think opening a trade going into London Open is always risky. I think that also, if anything, it comes down to your strategy, what you're kind of looking for. Personally, I would usually close it out beforehand, is kind of what I would do. It's just not worth the risk, right? I don't mind just re-entering after the fact. I know sometimes people FOMO because like, oh, but what if the move happens in your favor and it rockets? I mean, that's the same thought process as like taking trades off of New York Open, right? Like I don't ever recommend taking a trade off New York Open because like you don't know which way it's gonna go, right? So I mean, if you want an excuse to degen and eval, power to you, but I don't recommend it. For use in trading, I still can't feel confident to trade any time frame below 15-minute chart. That's totally fine. I mean, I think that if you got a strategy that works for you above the 15-minute time frame, why focus on less than that, right? We're about 25 thumbs up away from doing this 50K giveaway. Just FYI, gang. Let's drop some thumbs up for the stream. Welcome to Project 365, and you guys are just kind of hopping in here right now. We stream 10 hours a day. What's gold doing now, gang? Gold be just ranging. Guess we're holding beneath this level, guys. We're holding beneath this level. Oil starting to pop off a little bit here off that open. RTY. I haven't, no. I haven't. I probably will take a couple scalps before the end of the session here today at some point. Does it cost to activate to the funded? That is a great question. I've been told it doesn't, but I can't trade with them, so I can't even check. Let's see. Does it say anywhere? Someone told me that there's no activation fee for them, actually, which is why their evals being so cheap is like insane. I'm just trying to navigate through the menu to see if there's actually information on it. Yeah, it says 0 activation. So their prime accounts show 0 activations. Yeah. Is a live account of $1,000 risking 2% per trade, targeting 10% per week a good idea? Statistically speaking, I mean, it's kind of tough, man. I mean, if you're risking 2%, you're not risking much, right? Like at that point, like that's very little. Like I don't know how you can trade with that. I think that's for me where like I don't subscribe to that thought process. I know there's a lot of people on this social media space that say, you know, risk 2% of your account. I wouldn't even trade, to be honest, if that's the case, right? If you could risk 2% of 1,000, you're not really going anywhere. I mean, if you put it this perspective, right? On a single micro, it's $2 per point, which means that if you hit 10-point stop loss, you've hit $20. $20. I mean, that's basically, there goes your risk, right? So I don't know, man. I personally, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I would have to naturally do a little bit more than that if I were to, or just build a bigger balance before you start risking 2%. So at least you have a bigger balance to play with. I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore, Ron. I mean, the deal's pretty banging, man. Like 50% off. Some other accounts are even bigger discount. They're like 80% off. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Stereo, are you talking about the thumbnail for this YouTube? That's our man, Jake Ricci, man. If I have 3K in my live account and with 4-to-1 margins, how many mini contracts would you trade on NQ? I mean, I don't know. Look, so I've never traded with a live. I don't know if this is like self-funded or if this is like a brokerage funded. But generally speaking, 3K. I mean, my rule of thumb has always been that with a 2K drawdown, you want at least 10 bullets in the chamber, which means that you wouldn't want to risk more than $200 per trade. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, Josh. We're 16 thumbs up away from doing the giveaway, guys. Let's get it going, guys. Let's get it going. Interesting. Interesting. I just realized the music stopped. What else should I play? Let's see. That's some battle music. Battle music from Naruto. How's the family doing? Oh, Ali, thank you for asking, man. No, they're doing better. They're doing better. They're still recovering, but no complaints here, man. They're getting better. Majority of my success in trades for the April stats, I traded basically between the Globex Open and the following 4 hours. I traded the 1 hour after the London Open, and then I dabbled on a few trades during New York after the first 2 hours of the session. And by the way, notice that when you ask me that question, I know I could answer that question immediately. Like I know my stats because I study them. Like I study myself a lot. So I think that if there's something to take away from how much I look into that, that's important, right? I'm one of those individuals that when I'm like prepping for a client meeting, for example, and I'm going to sit down with them, I've always said that if I need to know my client's business better than they do, if I show up unprepared, then I'm going to get my ass chewed out. And so in trading, it's no different. I need to know my edge. I need to know my stats. If I don't know it, then for me, the way I look at it is that I'm just coming into this and praying and hoping that things are just going to work out for me, right? Again, I know not everyone thinks and is wired this way, but that's just kind of this the way that I operate. Oh no, Ali. Honestly, man, when you have kids, it's like a freaking walking epidemic, man. You're just constantly getting sick. Do you know what character my name comes from? Character Dara? I mean, that honestly, that could be so many names. I don't know, man. Eldred, man. The way I look at it is that if you know your edge, you know your stats, you wouldn't be forcing trades, right? You know, I think that's a big part of it. And by the way, I hope you know that I don't mean that in like an insulting way or any way like that. I'm just saying a lot of times, like for you to be able to, you know, keep your hands tied and not hop in there, you really have to know your setups, and you have to believe that you're working on this for the craft. The payout is a byproduct of your success. It shouldn't be the driving factor to it. So I'll be right back because I took out my ice cream cake and I don't want it to melt. I gotta move it onto my plate and I'll be right back. Okay, give me like 1 minute. Oh, all right. I'm back. Sorry. What's the question? Passed another TBT 50K account on short tonight. Hey! Dang him. Way to go, man. That's awesome. Judges, so you trade 8:30 to 11 PST as well. I don't stay on for that long. I usually do like 8:30 to like 9:30 probably. Because I'm on the road, right? I'm usually in meetings, so I don't have the privilege to trade that period usually. I can't give you a safe stop loss on your question about your 50K account because in the end of the day, it's all structure, right? It's bar by bar. Like I don't know if there's a fixed stop loss. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think you're looking for an answer that I can't really give because the market doesn't move in that fashion, right? So. Your name is from Naruto? Is your name based off of Madara then? It's the only thing I can think of if you're thinking Dara. Unless you're thinking of like Deidara. It's either Deidara or Madara. Those would be my guess. Deidara. Yeah, the kids, man. I'm assuming you're talking about the kids. Grow up fast, Pete. Yeah, 100%. It's the reason why I want to spend more time with family more than anything. That's why people don't get it sometimes. Like, I think that when you're in this journey and you're trying to strive for success, I can appreciate the hunger, but you don't want to miss out on those important aspects of their life, man. Big boy, you gonna full port your eval? I always look for the question about where do I think the market's going. I generally like to see us retrace moves from Asia to London and then just kind of follow through again later on. By the way, for those who are curious, this is the ice cream cake. Are we at 200 thumbs up yet? Okay, yeah, we're there now. Way to go. I totally look like Chong-Li in a blood sport. I hope that's a compliment, Yacht. All right, give me a second here, guys. So we're gonna do the giveaway. So I'm gonna change that to 300 thumbs up now because that'll be for the next one. Now I'm gonna give you guys instruction because I do need to set up the Streamlab here first. So give away rules. Thumbs up stream. Type in enter. Wait until the bot comes out, guys, okay? Because I haven't gotten the bot up yet. Okay, let me get the bot set up first. Fire away, gang. There's still about 4 minutes left of the giveaway, gang. I didn't have all my time frames up, man. That was a bad call on my part. I didn't realize how strong the 50-minute candle had closed earlier. I would not have shorted that, actually. We got about 2 minutes left to the giveaway, gang. Might get a nice move on NQ here towards VWAP. think that would be a very valuable setup to take. We've got the 200 EMA then in front of us. That will be our biggest barrier right now. But we did close off that 15-minute bar pretty strong. That's the reason why I made the comment earlier. I wasn't looking at all 3 time frames when I took that short. I was just biasly just trading the range. But with the way that we had closed that 15-minute bar was pretty strong. So looking for some follow through here to see if we can push up there. 40 points is a big push, but we'll see. 40 seconds left until the giveaway is over. All right. That is the end, guys. That is the end. Let's find out who our winner is. Who is Rick Rack 8813? You are the winner. Rick Racks 8813. DM me on Instagram and I will send you the code. Mass clutch, nice try. Rick Rax, you there? I know everyone here is waiting for me to withdraw. Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, you got it. I was gonna say, everyone's hoping that you don't respond so that I can redo the giveaway again. And when you DM me, Rick Rax, just show me like your YouTube profile and then DM me that way. That way I know it's actually you. You guys are a little late, man. Giveaway's done. Giveaway's done, gang. All good though, man. All good. I mean, you guys want to do another giveaway? I'm all down for that, man. Let's get ourselves a 300 thumbs up and we'll do another giveaway. $300 thumbs up and we will do another giveaway, gang. What else is going on with you guys, man? What else is going on? Even though the week is just starting here, I feel like it's been a crazy long week already. I'm glad you like the music, man. It's the most intense streaming music. Not like your heart isn't racing enough as it is. Thanks, Rick Rax. As long as you sent me the DM, we're good. I'll respond back to you after the. I'll respond back to you after the stream is done. Yeah, Daniel, I know what you mean, but there's not a lot of ways that I can check it otherwise. You don't have any more thumbs to give. Why not, Jai? Have you ever had to professionally set boundaries, like tell someone off in a good manner? Yeah? Why do you ask, Rye Guy? Are you dealing with a situation right now? Zen, your trading should not change between eval and funded. At least not when you're learning. Like unless you're like the individual, like you're full porting like evals to pass and then getting to the funded phase, and yes, then I don't recommend you trading the same way. But technically speaking, when you're trading your funded, you should be treating it like your real cash. So you should be trading with a certain level of discipline. No problem, cracks. Yeah, do that today. Yeah, I mean, you know, like in the professional world of things, I find it like the way that I have my conversations with people is I'm very fact driven. So I don't know, it depends on the situation, but I don't find it too overly difficult to tell someone to like see you later or like kick sand, you know. Gotcha, Zen. No, not too much either for me. And Zen, the reason why I'm saying that it doesn't make too big of a difference for me either way is because I'm the type of trader that will take my payouts to the maximum capability, which generally means that even if I had an account for a while and I was able to trade it and like get to a payout, I would take the maximum payout, which then would bring me back to the beginning as if I had just started that funded account. So no, I wouldn't change too much. Again, I'm not really too sure necessarily specifically what you're kind of asking for in that way, but I wouldn't change much of it. Yeah, Daniel, that's probably like too much. I just kind of follow what the other guys do on the host of Project 365. They find that that's the way they go about it, so that's kind of what I do as well. But I hear your point, though, man. Go pound sand, yeah, man. That's totally fair, dude. Do you use SMT as confluence? If so, what does the hourly SMT with ES? What does SMT mean? Aggie, you're a little late. You're a little late to the game there. Waiting for 300 thumbs up before we do our next one. This is the 200 EMA that I was talking about, by the way, guys, on the 2-minute time frame. This is the risk to the long that I'm taking. But if we can clear that, then my TP should hit, no problem. That's going to be our biggest wall right now. Right, guy. You funny, man. Interesting. No, I don't really look at divergence, so I don't really know. I wouldn't know how to even read that, to be honest. The 200 EMA on the 2-minute time frame has been something that I've always just weighed as a level of significance. I've been able to find a lot of trade setups using it. So generally speaking, when we're at the 200 EMA, depending on how the chart is setting up, I would usually look for it as a form of like retracement. So I'll either short if we're beneath it or long if we're above it. So it really just depends. Gotcha, Stereo. Okay. Yeah, I don't trade that really myself, so I couldn't speak to that all too much. Yeah, I'll see if I can get to it, man. You know how behind I am. I haven't watched something new in so long, man. Has gold been following indexes? I don't know. Hey, guys. That 1 hour gold trade would have worked out, guys. Nice push off there. I don't know, right, guy? I don't know. Can't say on that one. Loosing on that long. You talk about the long that I'm in on NQ right now. Any tips on dealing with greed and over trading? That's hard, man. That's unfortunately not a very black and white thing, because everyone has their reasons for why they're greedy and why they overtrade. I think that if my base aspect of this would be that don't focus on the payout, don't focus on the money too much, because that's, I mean, honestly, your craft and the work that you do is supposed to build into the byproduct of that, right? So EMA, Hassan, EMA. Theo, I like it on the 2 minute more than any other time frame. I will say that. I use it on the 2 minute, or I use it on the daily. I don't use it on any other time frame. Does it work well on the 5, 15, and every other time frame? Yeah, sure, it does. I mean, I have students that use it as well. I just personally only look at it at the 2 minute though. Yeah, I like to break out the wedge. That's why earlier on as well. So yeah, just to your point, when I was shorting this on the 2 minute time frame, I was looking at it as like, you know what? I think it looks like we're rejecting the wedge and we're gonna stay within it. That's why I shorted. But then literally after I entered it, you saw me open up my other time frames, and I realized the 15-minute bar closed off bullish. That's when I was like, oh crap, that's probably not a good idea to short that actually. And obviously, as you can see, I was wrong. I shouldn't have shorted that. So, but anyways, all good. I mean, that's a perfect example for me of why like I focus on everything that I have on my checklist before I take trades, because if I'm missing even a component of it, then it tends to like work against me, obviously, right? So. Let's see if gold can hold the 45.47 level here that I have. Or print, sorry. Bar closures, Joey? Yeah, I'm big on bar closures. Yeah, I assume you're referring to tape. Are you referring to like time as well? Yeah, I mean, like even for my system, technically speaking, had I just opened up my time frames, I would have not have shorted that actually. So that's what I get for only looking at the 2 minute. And honestly, that's actually a lesson there in itself for you guys. Is that like when you guys get too focused onto one time frame, it's never really a good idea to just base it off of that, because there's the bigger picture that you're missing a lot of the times, right? But yeah. And by the way, that this reaction that we're getting on the 200 EMA right now is kind of what I'm talking about. That's why that was kind of risky. So like hypothetically speaking earlier, if I wanted to take a breakout wedge trade, the long trade from here probably would have been the best R multiple trade, just for probability wise, because the 200 EMA generally is a nice spot for us to resist off of. But yeah, like I said earlier, I miscalculated on the short by not paying attention to the other time frames. So they're all important, Dara. I wouldn't say one beats over the other. I think it comes down to where you want to start, right? What's going on, DeMarcus? How we doing, gang? We are at 246 thumbs up right now, guys. We are 54 away from doing another giveaway. How are you guys doing in terms of trades? Are you guys looking at anything? I know some of you guys trade other things like RTY and YM and stuff like that. YM held that level spot quite well here. Nice then, trader. Glad you got your piece of the pie, man. And you know how earlier I was talking about the 200 EMA on the 2-minute time frame? You can see the same thing on gold. We're really fighting this area. And long as 28,920 on the NQ. I think that's very valid, man. That's a pretty solid long trade. I think we have room, man. I think we have room. To be a buy for me, we would have to be above London close. Totally fair. Do I cap my number of trades in a day? I have a cap, so like 2 trades per account. So for example, on this account, this is my second trade. So if this is a win or a loss, I would stop. This would be the done for the day for this one, and I would move on to another account. But for the day, I don't. I don't actually have one. Would this be a lower high in the 15 minutes? Sure. It can be. This comes down to your preference as well, right? You can quite literally find a lower high, higher low structure on every single time frame. Kind of comes down to what makes the most sense for you, man. Have a good night, BJ. Something tells me, Miss Stereo, that you're, yeah, you got a horny bear syndrome, huh? I mean, we got some pretty intense music running right now. Maybe this is what we need to get this long trade, huh? Trading with music on is just a whole nother ballgame, guys. Really adds to the theatrics. Now this soundtrack is getting intense, you know? the battle music, man. It's the battle music. I do like that 5-minute bar close. So earlier the short trade, if you guys saw, I took an L for about, what is it? I think 450. I think 450 bucks or whatever it was on that last trade. So this one is a little bit longer. I think that if I were shooting for the same amount, I easily could have taken profit already. Like I would be able to take profit and break even fast. But again, I don't focus too much on the P&L. Just kind of trading the chart. I think the safest spot to trim for me would be about 35 points, give or take. I have it at 40. 40 might be stretching it, but we'll see. I'll leave it as is. Have a good night, Valima. You got a fever. Now in this 2-minute time frame, let's get this hold of the 200 EMA and put in a nice bullish candle to push up from here. That would be the nice thing to see, guys. That would be the nice thing to see. Gold long 450. Eee, too long. Let's get it. Let's get it. How much more can we get here? 14.7 points. Alright, guy. I got what you meant by log. We are 41 thumbs up away from that next giveaway, gang. Let's get it. Don't do it, man. It's not degen hour, not yet. So if I was a P&L focused guy, I would be closing my position already right now because I would have made back the money I had just lost. $29,017 would be like, or $29,016 was kind of like the safe spot that I would have wanted to take profit, to be honest, as a safety net, that spot right there. But I'm just gonna hold it. Let's see where we go. Yeah, that's so Theo. That I don't know if you heard me say that. So target would have been hit already. This would have been the safe spot right here. But I think we might get this push here. I made the comment earlier, right? Like once we broke above, we want to see us hold. Remember when I said that? This candle was very bearish earlier on, and I wanted us to make sure we hold above it so that we can continue. Now, the target that I had set earlier on, which was the 16 spot we just tagged right here, this was the safety spot. 32.5 would have been the take profit. I think that was the safest spot. And the reason why I'm saying it's the safest spot is because if you take a look at the 15-minute time frame, we had a pretty strong pivot candle there. And so for me, it just makes me wonder if there's just so much selling in this area that's the reason why, you know, price pivoted in the way that it did. So that's why that was the safe one. So you saw me set the alert there, so we would have hit that target already by now. Probably being a little bit of a prick for a tick for like holding my target as high as I am right now. But we'll let it play out. 40 points right there. We'll let it do its thing. I'm not going to micromanage this. What's gold doing? I don't really call them stop hunts, Daniel, but yeah, I do look at market structure though. This is the 15-minute that I'm talking about, by the way, guys. Right here. So if I were to just draw something there for you to see, look exactly where we stopped. Right? That's the reason why I said that that was the best TP to be taken. Chilean trader. I know, with this kind of epic music, man, how can we not hit TP, right? Oh, are we at 300 yet? 269. We're 31 away, gang. Is it wick of candle more important than candle close? Each of them tells a different story, Daniel. Sorry, I'm just reading a message here. Yeah, anyways, wicks and bodies, I mean, they all tell a different story. So it kind of comes down to, like, I always say, when your strategy, what is it that you're looking for in your setups, and why does that matter to you, right? Every trader is going to look for something slightly different. This is usually the soundtrack that gets played when the hero beats the bad guy. This is the song. Come on. Get the price target hit, gang. Each of them had a very different world, Zagar. I think that Itachi teaches us sacrifice and how much it takes to hold true values and play the role, your beliefs, your philosophy, all those type of things, right? Whereas, like, for Naruto, I think that tells the story more about, like, self-manifestation, right? If you think about the whole story arc of Naruto, no one really believes in him ever. He tells the world that he wants to be a Hokage for, like, ever, and, like, no one takes him seriously. Even after he wins battle after battle, fight after fight, he still gets discounted. Basically, until he actually saves everyone from the war, it is the only time he really gets acknowledged, right? And I think there's a story behind that as well, because if you think about it, no one in the story arc, I mean, there's a couple characters here and there who respect him, who like him, but no one truly like loved him for who he was, except for Hinata, which is essentially the person he ends up marrying at the very end. So I think it's kind of a cool way, the way they kind of tied that together, where like the person who loved him unconditionally was the person he ended up marrying at the end of the day. So anyways, there's a whole, I think there's a lot of things in Naruto that can be taught in its moral lessons, but pin code, no man, it's Naruto. It's Naruto, not Dragon Ball. I could play Pokemon next time too. I can do that too. I didn't really care for Boruto actually. I actually think they probably should have done a prequel before they did the sequel, because I think there's just so much story behind the ancestral characters that they could have dived into that first. But I understand why they did Boruto, just based on like the viewers, and like technically you're growing up with Naruto, and Naruto's an adult now, and technically if you've been watching Naruto since it first came out, you'd be my age, you'd be an adult. So it's kind of like the idea of like you're having your own kid and you're watching this guy have his kid. Like I get why they did it, but I'm not as big of a fan as Boruto though. I also think that they've taken it too far in terms of like the whole alien and spiritual outer space stuff. Like I think they kind of went crazy because they basically nerfed the main characters. I mean, Naruto and Sasuke were like so freaking strong, and they 100% nerfed their characters. Hard work and perseverance, yeah, man. Should we be worried about, you mean London Open? Yeah. London Open is coming up. I'd like for this to hit sooner than that, man. I don't like that 5-minute candle that we had just closed. I really want us to get followed through. We need to get break back above that, man. This is one of those moments as well as a trader that you can really decide, right? Like, I'm not going to protect this trade in any way or form. I know for some people, they might want to move their stop losses up here, because then that way at least you'd be, what, 17, 18 points in profit. So if you get stopped out, you get stopped out for about like a little under 400 bucks still. But I'm going to keep it as is. Yeah, but they totally nerfed the characters, man. That kind of actually annoyed me. I get it. It's no longer about their story arc, but it's still annoying. What you know about Piccolo? Oh, Dragon Ball Z. We have been through too many epic songs for us to have not hit TP yet. Good morning, Con. Vancouver, Canada. Born and raised. I will see how this hourly candle closes, to be honest. But yes, I do like it. It doesn't mean you long immediately, but it does set us up nicely, though. Like I said, I wanted us to tag the Globex, right? So we still have quite a bit of ways, and we still have another 100 points to go before we get there. Globex, 29,100. Yeah, I prefer 2 minutes over 1 minute. I mean, the fact that we even trade on 2 minutes is already crazy, right? I mean, the smaller the time frame, the more noise and distraction it becomes, right? The Globex is the Globex opening print, Theo. We are 27 likes away, or thumbs up away from doing this giveaway, gang. 27 thumbs up. See that spot that I was talking about earlier, guys? Same spot. Still quite a wall. DeMarcus, what's your target price, man? Or price target? What are you looking? For those who don't know, this is the soundtrack from the Akatsuki. Not exactly the soundtrack you want to be playing when you're in a trade, you know. It's like the song of death. Honestly, right, guy, if this was a funded account, I'd be probably closing out and I'd be very okay with it because I wouldn't want to be a prick for a tick. But yeah, putting a stop loss beneath this area, like right here, not the worst thing in the world. That's like about at least 18, 19 points of profit. Or you can close it out here. Completely up to you to decide. Wappity wappa. Alright. Oh no, man. It's creeping up, man. It's creeping up. This is the soundtrack of preparing for war, man. Hey, that's fair, DeMarcus. I mean, as long as you have some sort of a thing that tells you, like, what's considered, like, a safe point for you to, like, capture and protect the trade. Roman Empire type shit. Yeah. Like I said, I marked it here for those who are in long. I don't know when you would have entered, but this is a fairly reasonable spot to put a stop loss, to be honest. Or just take profit now. Because to be honest, if you took your entry from where I took it, technically speaking, that's still 34 points, right? Like that's nothing to not take seriously, right? So. What happened yesterday? I have no idea. I'm assuming you're talking like the New York session. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. What's my take on silver? I don't really have one, man. I don't trade silver. If it moves anything like gold, that'd be bearish. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take a look at it on my other chart here, actually. So, I don't know. I don't really know what happened yesterday. NVDA earnings and moves. I guess kind of curious what you mean by that. Are you just asking me like, do I trade it? I don't usually trade earnings ever. Nice, DeMarcus. Nice. Honestly, at this point in time, guys, like the London market is opening now. This is where if you want to protect your trade here, like no reason. Like at the close of that candle, as like midnight was coming up for me, I would just close that out right there. Like I have no issue doing that. I just want to show you what would that have been? 37 points. Like, and I'm sharing this just so that you guys know. It's like there is no point in being such a prick for a tick. 37 points. Like you may as well. If the market's about to open, do you really want the market to open and reverse on your entire position over 3 points? So those are the moments that I think it's important for you guys to assess. I mean, I don't ever want to tell anyone how to trade, but that's something for you to just always think about is whether it really makes sense for you to hold it for longer. I'm okay just dealing with this again. I'm good. I'm leaving it as is, but I'm just telling you that if I was in a funded account and we were literally about to open the London session in like 10 seconds, I'm not going to sit here and like wait for the 3 points. Like I'd be more than happy just closing it out. Yeah, if you're on a trailing drawdown account, 100%, man. 100%. You don't want to risk that, man. We are 7 thumbs up away from 300. Let's get those 7, gang. And then I'll rock one last giveaway before we call it a night. All right, 299 thumbs up now. What's up, Silverback? Not too shabby, man. We're just chatting here. Just hanging. You guys are so funny, dropping enters already. I haven't even started the giveaway, man. Alright, we're at 303. Let's get it. Alright, I'm going to set up the giveaway here. Bot up here. I haven't even started yet, guys. Calm down. Calm down. Alright, now it started, guys. Let's lock in. We got about 4 minutes left for this giveaway, gang. There you go. Profit target hit. For all those who are in that long with me, congrats. That's 40 points on one mini. That is 800 bucks. Savage, you only need to do it once. I know a lot of people like to spam it, but you don't need to spam it. Once is all you need. I know some people are waiting to see if they get that like Streamlabs ticket thingy majiggy, but you guys don't need to worry about it. You're in, you're in. All good, man. All good. $40-point trade, not too shabby. And that's why like stop losses are so important though, right guys? Like just perspective. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, you know, you want dollar cost average, you want to keep moving your stop loss. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Like imagine if I didn't accept my loss, even though like I said earlier, right? Like it made no sense to have entered a short actually now after I zoomed out. But imagine if I didn't respect my stop loss, right? Like you're just losing over nothing, right? So this is the reason why for me it's important to respect it, protect your capital, both mentally, physically, and then tackle the market again in another way, right? My stream is technically done already, Maz Daily. I'm just on here right now to finish this giveaway before I call it. For all those kind of just rolling in right now, late in the game, I stream between 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time, which is 1 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sorry, 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so. Yeah, basically the way it works, Savage Princess, is that as soon as you type in enter or whatever, then it automatically will get you into the draw. And then when I actually am clicking to select a winner, it'll randomly select based on the people who have entered on this giveaway. Look at this powerful move up, eh? 70 point already. 72 points from entry on this long. Ten more seconds. Yeah, Savage Prince. I don't know. Sometimes it lags. I do see your name though. You don't need to worry about it. I do see your name. Of course it did, Penko. Of course. All right, guys. It is done now. Do not keep spamming. It is gonna select a winner now. Winner. All right, Papa Tick Tucker. Where you at? Papa Pick Tucker. Are you alive? This is your proof of life call out. All right, there you go. DM me on Instagram there, okay? DM me on Instagram and I will send you the code. Yeah, that's pretty much it, gang. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. What's up, Alan? Can you please explain for me the 40% consistency on Lucid Flex eval? So in general, 40% consistency basically means that your highest day cannot exceed 40% of your total balance. So generally speaking, if you're looking for a profit target of 3,000, basically it means that you probably won't want to hit over what, 1,300, I think the number would be. Give me a second here. Let me just do the math on calculator. No, it's less than that actually. 1,200. So if your profit target is 3,000, you cannot have a day for more than 1,200 bucks. Is basically what that means. Oh, Papa, you won already? Oh, that's a good call out, Papa. I'm sorry, actually, you can't win twice. Yeah, it doesn't work, unfortunately, because if I submit your name, it's gonna get flagged later. Sorry to be a killer of the mood, man, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. I did promise another one. So, guys, I'm sorry to do this to you guys again. Yeah, I gotta run it again. I gotta run it again. I can't. We can't do two people, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that got your hopes up, but we can't do two winners. So yeah, sorry, dude. I'm just gonna let this thing run it again. So you guys don't have to type enter again, guys. You don't have to do that. I am going to pick a winner again because I have all your names still. So there you go. That's the new winner. Moroccan Stoic Trader. Are you here? Moroccan Stoic Trader. All right, congratulations. DM me on Instagram, my guy. Adam, I'm not sure if it's once per week or if it's once in general, but we definitely don't want to do it too often. It makes sense with all the people on stream because we don't want anyone ever thinking this is rigged, right? Like, this is not the idea. So we do want to provide fair game for everyone. But yeah, that's pretty much that. We're up our channel here. I did say that I was looking for us to come up towards this area into Globex. So we'll see what kind of candle reaction we get. We might have a short opportunity here. But I'd be watching this area to see if we create that opportunity. But all right, but anyways, my stream period is done, guys. My stream period is done. Jaden, I don't know if you hopped in here a little late. I will answer the question really quickly before I hop off here. But I had drawn a wedge here already that I was waiting for a breakout. I was looking for us to tag 28,839 before we made a move, but we looked like we ended up holding this area quite well. Put a nice potential higher low, or you can even look at this as an inverse head and shoulder setup. And then once we had that higher low bounce on the 2-minute off my channel here, we also broke out of the wedge here, offering us an opportunity to continue to the longs, and that's essentially kind of what played into that. We also had bar by bar analysis on a multi-time frame that aligned as well. You may have missed it earlier, but I hopped into a short trade looking to trade the range, but then literally after I entered the trade, I zoomed out like, oh crap, I shouldn't have shorted because we're setting up for longs, and I literally got stopped out like minutes later. So then I pivoted over to longs because that was the better trade setup. But yeah, that's pretty much how we got here, man. But with that said, I do got to head out. My eyes are completely drying out now, and I do have an early start to my morning as usual. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I will be back again here tomorrow. So I will see you guys same time, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch you guys tomorrow, man. Have a great night.